2025 Tomo Ryu Shinobi Keiko. The event every year where the most dedicated and highest ranking students get an opportunity to work with me one-on-one in this tradition that I was given. So it is an honor for me to share what I've received and to share that with you guys. And I'm looking forward to the next couple of days of just working on this particular tradition of Tomo Ryu. So many times people take these old traditions and they preserve them in a way where they fit a certain time period, and I think that's correct. You should do that. It was made in this time period. You should give the essence of that particular tradition. But the reason it survived to the present day is because there are aspects of that tradition that's adapted and evolved with the times. Now the Tekkagi, these are a larger version. There's two versions. There's a shorter version and a larger version. The larger version, like this, is made for farming, and they're made, to do hay and this type of thing. But you could still wear these while you're holding a sword. So if there's ever a counter strike to the hand, you can protect yourself. But it's also a way for you to be in close quarters to be able to block certain ways, claw certain things, and this type of thing as well, right? Everyone thinks that maybe if I take these Makibishi or these caltrops and I throw them down, then I run, and that's the way it was used. That's a way that they were used. But there's different ones: iron, natural sources, ones that they make out of natural sources, some that they tied to a string that they attached to their obi when they ran, so that a pursuer gets close, they would step on it. Kunai looks like this. And it's a spade, so it was kind of used for, prying into things, opening doors, opening windows, prying in. It's kind of like a, kind of a survival tool, if you will, because you could do lots of things with it. So this is a saw that would have been used, and again has an edge on it. So unlike this, the kokama that has an edge, kind of like a knife, right, where you can cut. This particular one has it's serrated, so it's more like a saw, so you can saw through, fences or wood. Or we know that this is also written in various ninja documents and scrolls, particularly in the Nippuden. And the kiri, which is a pick, and they would take it, and the scroll says you would take kind of the saliva of a toad, because it's oily, and you would stick it in the wall and you'd start turning it. And the reason you would do that is if I just put this in the wood and I start turning it, it's going to make a sound, right? But you use the saliva of a toad, which is kind of like WD-40, if you will, just kind of a lubricant, and you can pry, you can make small little holes so you can listen to conversations. Kusari fundo, right? This one would definitely be some sort of kokushi buki or hidden weapon. You could take it, hide it, hold this, and hide it in your hand, and then use it in some way to throw and strike, that type of thing. But definitely something that they carried. I don't know that if you're carrying arms, weapons of war like swords and things like that, I don't know that this would be in your kit. But if you're trying to have something on you and you don't want to look conspicuous because you're going to walk around without having the swords and everything else, definitely something that would be very good to have on you if you were trying to move throughout a crowd in disguise and not carrying a large amount of weaponry. Another ninki that we're going to talk about is called the Kaginawa. Yeah. And this is something that they would use as well. They just have rope attached to it. I know that when you buy the hooked ropes and things like that, and they make them really large, so you can throw them on top of things and climb up and do that kind of stuff. But really, when you're carrying items with you on a mission, especially stealth mission, you're not supposed to be there. You don't want big items. You want smaller items that can support your weight, but you can carry as well. So there's that fine line. So this is something that wouldn't have been carried. What looks like this. They could throw it over. They can help them climb. You can tie things up. You can tie people up. I can throw it over. There's lots of things that I can do this. I can use this in some sort of close quarter combatives if I needed to. But the Kaginawa has hundreds of uses that you can use a hooked rope for, and definitely one of the tools that the shinobi would have taken with them while on a mission. So one of the more popular tools of the ninja, if you will, is going to be shuriken. Everyone loves shuriken. Shurikenjutsu, you're throwing the shuriken. Now in Tomo Ryu, it speaks of the juji shuriken, which looks like this, right? So it's like this. And this particular one doesn't have an edge on it, it just has tips. So it's almost like you're throwing the bow shuriken, you know, just the points. So it's good for penetration, right? But this is what we call Juji Shuriken, and this is what we see in some of the writings in Tomo Ryu, which is what we're working on this weekend. However, when we talk about shuriken, which we'll get to that in a second, there are two basic types of shuriken. So we have hira shuriken, which are the flat shuriken. They're like little plates, and they're going to have multiple points, anywhere from 3 to 8 points on the end. Or you have the bow shuriken, and it can be a point on one end or the point on two ends. And those are where you're going to be throwing for penetration. So generally the flat ones you're trying to throw to just hit and evade, hit and evade. The other ones, the bow shuriken, you usually see that a lot within swordsmanship. So you could be like in a Jodan Kamae, throw a shuriken, get your opponent to try to block, close the distance and cut, or throw a shuriken, get them to move so that you can evade. And it says it should be a modified blade used to fit the mission. And then it gives examples of those blades. At least in Tomo Ryu, they used a square suba, so you could put your foot on it for climbing. They used a longer sagyo, right? So that when you climb up certain places, you could put the end of the sagyo in your mouth, you could stick this down, put your foot on here, you can climb up and then pull your toe back up, right? We know that there are certain modifications to certain blades used for various missions. Kodachi is a short sword, similar to the wakizashi. And you guys have seen me use this consistent with Tomo Ryu. Has the square suba, has a longer sagyo. It's a shorter sword to facilitate, you know, close quarters, fighting, things like that. So there's the Shinobi Kodachi. There's also the Tanto, which I think we all know what a Tanto is. It's just it's a knife, right? So Tanto is something they would carry. Even today, people carry knives. And the smaller they are, the easier it's concealed. I'm a big advocate for everyone carrying a blade for self-defense and self-protection. In self-defense, if you have something in your hands, you throw something in their eyes, you get a quick shot, and then you can run, right? We do those kind of concepts all the time in Goshinjutsu. Same thing here. It's Kyojutsu or Ninjutsu. Same thing. We're using distraction. We're using all these kind of things, deception, distraction. I'm going to throw, he'll block it away because he doesn't want to get hit, so I can come in with the ski, right? So do you guys see that technique? Okay.